Okay, so I have something that I want to talk about. And it's basically about us. When I say us, I'm talking about people of color. It's about us coming to a certain realization about the situation that we are faced with, or the situations that we are faced with every day. Now, we have to come together. This is the bottom line. This is what it boils down to. We have to come together. So put aside religion. Put aside all the differences that you might have and wake up. What are we waking up to? We need to wake up to the fact that these other non-people are our enemies. They do not love us, and they will never love us. We weren't enslaved to be loved. We weren't enslaved to turn around and be above these people. This is what it boils down to. So you gotta pick a side. You have to pick a side at the end of the day, because the only thing we can do to save ourselves right now is to segregate. There's nothing else that we can do. Segregation is our only salvation. Stop sniffing these people, thinking that they have your best interests at heart, when every day the evidence shows you that they are trying to kill you. They're poisoning your children when they go to school. They're poisoning you with vaccines. How much more killings do you need to see for you to realize that they do not have your best interests at heart? How much more do you need? As a nation of people, how much more evidence do we need? We have to stop asking these people for anything. Don't ask them for anything. We got to start taking what's ours. We have to take ourselves back. No matter what it is that you do, when you have a leader that rises up and they try to do something, what they do, they go and they attack that person. They shut that individual down. But they can't shut a whole nation of people down. Imagine one day if they get up and they said, well, not if they got up, but if we got up and we said, well, guess what? Oh, you a truck driver? Let's say we are united, right? And we say, well, guess what? Truck drivers, we're not moving any trucks for 2 days. What is this country going to do? We have to realize the type of power that we have. You got people out here, we are the ones that are accepting slavery. Don't think just because you're not in chains, you're not a slave. Okay? I could break this down in so many different areas in our lives, because I'll give a personal example, right? So I went to this company. I'm a truck driver, so I went to this company and I started to work there, right? And they gave me the whole breakdown of the pay scale and all this extra stuff, blah, blah, blah. You get paid by the mile, and then they give you a minimum salary, right? So I was there for 1 week. 1 week, and I got my first check. I was like, nah. How can anyone do this? You are literally being a slave in the whole situation. Now, it's a little more technical than that when you really break down the whole pay and all that. But the substance that I want to get to is, while I was there in that 1 week, I was able to show 2 of the co-workers, right? I got their numbers, and I was able to show them how they're being ripped off. I gave that company another week and I quit. I gave them 2 weeks. And I stayed in touch with the 2 brothers that I'm talking about. And they were already there for over a year, and they didn't even realize the things that I had presented to them, because they were being enslaved. They thought that everything was good. And you know what they did? They left the job too. They left that job too. But now, if we come together and realize that we have the kind of power to shut everything down. Like I drove for Lyft, right? I drove for Lyft, and that didn't last very long. You know why? Because it's slavery. How are you going to tell me I have to use my own car, my own insurance, my own fuel, and then I turn around and you get majority of the money? That don't make no sense. That does not make any sense. You have to wake up. It's my car, my insurance, my fuel. I have to maintain this car. You provide an app, an automated something that it runs itself. Okay, you got a few people at the call center or whatever, but I'm doing all the work and you getting all the money. You got to wake up. Come together and tell these corporations, guess what? We're not moving. We are not moving until we get more money than you making. What they need $1 billion for, what they need to be a multi-billion-dollar company for, and how much money you getting out of that billions of dollars. I went to a job and they to an interview, right? And they told me, oh, this is a multi-million dollar company. Yeah, it was million, not billions. And we own all our trucks. They're like, yeah, we own all our trucks, right? And you know, we don't owe the bank anything. And this is how much money we make every year. And they telling me how much money they make, like I'm supposed to be impressed. But they trying to pay me a little bit of money. And they want me to bring them all the money. That's slavery. Stop thinking that you're free. You're not. You are not free. Until you start controlling these outcomes, you're not free. You're still a slave. Our people really need to wake up. Stop being ripped off and come to the understanding of the type of power that we have. Imagine if all the Lyft drivers, all the Uber drivers who are melanated decided, guess what? You got to pay us more than what you're paying us now. You have to pay us. And we're not moving any cars for 2 days. We're not moving any cars for 3 days. We're not moving any cars, period. But you know what the problem is with that? I'm going to tell you what the problem is with this concept. Now, I saw a video where you had these Mexicans, right? And they were working at a factory. And at this factory, they had fired somebody. They fired one individual. And everybody went home. Every single person went home that day. All the rest of the Mexicans went home. But we don't have that type of unity. You know why? Because we're selfish. When something happens to another black person, we don't see it as it happening to us. We don't have brotherly love. You see, people, everybody want to talk about love, this, that, and the next, but at the end of the day, there's only one type of love, and that's brotherly love. Even if you're in an intimate relationship with somebody, there's only one true love, and that is brotherly love. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. I'm saying that because, back to the Mexicans, right? For example, you working at that factory and you like, man, I can't go home. Everybody else can quit, but I can't go home because my wife or my children, you know, I got to provide for them, etc., etc. But if you have brotherly love, then you're going to realize that the same people that walked off, they got your back at the end of the day. That's what brotherly love is. When you're thinking about just your immediate family, you being selfish. Point blank, period. We don't see each other as brothers and sisters. When something happens to one person over there, we don't say, well, that happened to me. Nobody cares until it hits home. And that's the problem. Nobody cares about you or about a particular situation until it happens to them. Now, this whole racism stuff is new to me because where I'm from, we don't have that. It's majority black people. You could literally count the people that are not black where I'm from. But just being in this country for a few years and seeing it so much, like even today I had to deal with something. Even today. And it's like, I'm gonna get into a story, right? I'm gonna get into a story. How I got locked up. I'm driving my truck, right? I'm driving my truck, minding my own business. I park my truck at a truck stop. Another guy comes up to me, knocks on my door, and you know, they basically pretends to be a truck driver. But I came to find out that he was not. So anyway, he coerced me to get out of my truck. So when I got out of my truck, I got assaulted. He had his buddies or whatever. Now, these are all non-black individuals. They're not people of color. So they grab me, run my pockets, all this type of stuff. So I defend myself. I get the upper hand, and I mean, I basically messed one of the guys up, and the rest of them ran away. Like, he got all the way jacked up. Okay? So now the police come, because I didn't run from the situation, because I mean, I'm the one that's been assaulted and robbed. The police come and they take me to jail. In spite of the fact that there were witnesses who were telling them what happened, they locked me up. Okay, and this happened in Wheatley County or Whiteley County in Kentucky. All right, so you know, these coward officers, they locked me up. I go to jail. They had me on $50,000 cash bond for me being arrested, for me being assaulted, right? Not arrested, for me getting assaulted. I'm the one that goes to jail. Now, I mean, this place is so messed up. So anyway, I get arrested. I lose my job because I'm in the company's truck at the time. And they like, I literally call them from jail and let them know, yo, I'm gonna be out, whatever. And they don't care. They take my truck. They take the things that I had inside my truck. Now, I was on the road a lot, so I was literally living out my truck. I had a lot of valuables in there, my electronics and all that type of stuff. They basically jacked it. When I did get out of jail, they didn't even give me them back or any of that type of stuff. They sent me back some clothes and some irrelevant stuff, right? So now, here's the thing. And the head jailer, his name was Brian Lawson in Whitley County Jail. That man ain't nothing but a coward. Okay? He's a coward. They are afraid of us, all of them. So I'm gonna tell you, I go to jail and now I don't eat animals. I don't eat anything that's cooked. That's not the point right now. But the point is, so I let them know what my diet is. This man, after they gave me what I asked for, they gave me fruits and stuff for the first couple of days. I was in there for about a week. So they gave me fruits for the first couple of days, and then I don't know what got into him. Well, I know what got into him. It's the same thing that was in him all the time. But anyway, so he takes me to his office, right? And takes me to his main office. And he's like, oh, what's your religion? And all this type of stuff. This demon had the nerve to bring the Bible out and tell me that I need to eat what the Bible says to eat. I need to follow a Jewish diet. I told him I'm not a Jew. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Jewish. I don't wish to be a Jew. I am a Jew. I'm the real Jew. Okay? So that's besides the point, regardless, anyway. So they starved me. He said, nigga, you gonna eat what I tell you to eat. Brian Lawson, you ain't nothing but a coward. You never speak to me like that in person, face to face, man to monkey, and we know who the man is, because I'm the original man. You the crossbreed. Okay? So they got me in there. They don't want to feed me. They denied me medical care because the jail was overcrowded. So I was sleeping on basically the concrete, this thin mat that they had. I was sleeping on concrete. It was like 10 people could hold in that cell, and they had 14 people in there, and I was sleeping on the floor. Okay? Denied me medical care, didn't feed me, called me out of my name, gonna have the nerve to come and read the Bible to me? You can't tell me nothing about the Bible. That's my book. Where you see pale-faced people in there? It talks about Egyptians. It talks about how the Messiah had to go and hide in Egypt. You ever seen a pale-faced person trying to hide in Egypt, in the land of the blacks? Man came from dirt. You can't tell me nothing about no Bible. It don't apply to you. And this is some of the things that they try to. It felt like I was straight up in a movie. Straight out of a movie. Like, where they do that at? So the whole point of what I'm saying is, we have to segregate. We have to segregate. It's not an opinion. They will never see you as an equal. And when I say segregate, I don't mean, oh, start a race war. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we gonna build each other up. If I see my brother falling, I'm gonna pick him up. I'm not gonna tear him down like how they do on social media. The minute you get in any type of problems, any type of conflict, people are quick to jump on it and call you down, because guess what? It's entertaining. It's always entertaining to see somebody else fall. When I say segregate, I mean we have to stick together. We have to build our own businesses. Stop supporting them and making them rich. Forget all the, look, I have an idea, right? And I'm even putting this out there because it's not even about the money. I don't care about that. So I'm going to share my idea, and I hope that somebody does it before I do. You know, they're talking about how Farrakhan, I'll say Minister Farrakhan, to show some respect, even though I don't believe in, you know, the lifestyle of Islam or what have you, but I'll say it like that because at the end of the day, anyway, that's just going to lead into something else. But yeah, Minister Farrakhan. So they banned him off of social media, right? And the idea that I'm saying is, why do we even have to go to their platform? Why do we have to go on Facebook? Why do we have to go on Instagram and make them rich? Why we don't have our own? Why hasn't somebody come and said, well, look, they can't censor us when we speak now. We're gonna get the information that we need to get out there, regardless. Talk about the feds monitoring Facebook and they monitoring Instagram and all that extra stuff. Now we need to have our own stuff. We need to have our own. Forget going on Facebook. Yes, I know it might seem hypocritical of me because I'm on there and I'm on Instagram, but I'm saying that's not our final resting place. If somebody develops a platform where we could reach people and say, boom, let's go on here, I'm with it. I don't need to be supporting anybody that's not supporting me, that's not supporting the cause. We have to segregate. We have to stop supporting their businesses. Listen, stop going to these Asians and Chinese. You know what would happen if our black women realized how beautiful they were and decided that they didn't need hair and nails and all this extra unnecessary stuff? Do you know what would happen to the Chinese or the Koreans or whoever it is doing hair? But we go into them, and then when we go to them, they want to fight us. And we making them rich and inflicting poverty on ourselves. Segregate. Stop going to them for anything. Fine, you don't see the irrelevance of makeup and hair and all that type of stuff. I mean, go to a sister, let her do your makeup then. Go to a sister, let her do your nails. I don't know what you're gonna do about purchasing the hair because that's not your hair anyway. So, I mean, that's their hair regardless. So you're gonna be contributing to that. So you gotta go back to your roots. You have to go back to your roots. It just is what it is. Is your hair more important than your nation of people? Are you that selfish that you could belittle yourself to some hair versus the liberation of an entire nation, the liberation of your people? And this is not for everybody. If you can't see, regardless of what, like I said, regardless of whatever religion you're in, if you cannot see the fact that you need to segregate, I don't want to mess with you. This ain't for you. Because I'm not coming to you from no religious perspective. I'm not coming to you from anything outside of what there was before religion. And before religion, there was black. Before I had a religion, I was black. Don't we understand that? When I die, I'm going to be black. If I die. That's a higher level. We're not even going to get into that either right now. Before religion, we were black. So forget all that religious stuff. Support your own people. Stop pulling each other down. We have to come together. What you worried about? Not getting paid for one day? Your ancestors worked, they didn't get paid up to now. And you worried about your job not paying you for one day? Because you decide that you want to stand up for righteousness? It's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Why you think that if you don't eat for one day, you're going to die? What's going to happen? If we come together, nothing can happen. Because they can't do anything without us. Period. They cannot do anything without our help. We have to stop helping them. We are helping them to afflict us. We're working against ourselves right now. I'm paying somebody to lock me up. Why? And we don't even have information. Like they say, people, before the truth used to be hidden, but now people are hiding from the truth. Of course, you're going to look at me and say, oh, he crazy, he this, that, and the next. But what I'm saying is facts, though. If I tell you that getting a vaccine could lead to autism, that's a fact, though. But you don't want to know that, so you're going to say that somebody crazy. If I told you that you don't have to be paying no taxes, unless you have a corporation, like if you working, they literally cannot tax you. Taxes don't come out of my check. Very easy to do, but we don't have information. And we so docile and unlearned that we think that, yo, after they done took $6,000 out your check for the year, they turn around and give you a $4,000 tax return, and you like, boom, I'm balling. I got my check. I got my taxes. Not realizing that you getting less money had they had not taken it out. All we have to do is come together under one umbrella, and that is, I'm black. That's the first thing we need to do. And learn how to segregate from there. And I'm not saying segregate, don't be looking at it like it's a bad thing. Why are you forcing yourself? Listen, you know what? If you have a friend and your friend does something, I'm talking about black on black. Your friend does something or says something what you gonna do? You gonna be like, F that, this, that, and the next. I don't need to talk to them no more. Boom, boom, boom. So you can segregate yourself from yourself. When I say that, I'm saying because we see each other as separate entities. That's why we're not affected when something happens to one person, but because it doesn't happen to us directly, we think that, it don't matter. So you quick to cut somebody else off that look like you, but the minute your enemy does something, you want to go pray and you want to go forgive them and be on some religious mess. Talking about you forgive them. You think my ancestors forgive them? After they done been raped, robbed, starved, you think they forgive them? They do. The enemy does not hate us, they fear us. They fear us. They are not afraid. That's why they shoot us. That's why they clench their purses when they see us, because they are afraid. You know why they're afraid? They are afraid because they know if anyone did to them what they have done to us, they'd be dead. Facts. That's the only reason they are afraid. Because they know what they would do. But we are the most forgiving people on the face of the earth that there ever will be. The most forgiving, the most loving, the most loyal, the most dedicated, the most committed, all that. Us. And that's why they fear us. Because of the power that we have. They can see the power that we have, but we still can't see our own power. We can't see our power till this day. But they recognize it. That's why they want us dead. That's why they tell us to abort our children. That's why they poison your water. I haven't drank water in about 3 years now. Information. You might say, oh, that's crazy. How are you alive? You ain't drink no water. I get my fluids. Don't worry about that. That's a whole different conversation. But I'm saying that the information is there. If you want to go research what they do into the water, why would you drink it? Why? Stop hiding from the truth. They're putting it in your face that they do not like you. They will never like you. Just face the reality. It's just like how you got a family member who cut you off and you be like, forget that person. You don't care. So why is it that we steady trying to fight to be on the same level with these aliens? And I say aliens because they are not native to Earth. That's a different conversation. They're not supposed to be here. That's a different conversation. Why are you fighting to have a relationship with your enemy when they show you time and time again that they do not like you? Why? Why are you so much in denial? Look, I need somebody to do this before I do, and go ahead and create a platform for people who are willing to segregate. That's it. And we just gonna build, we're gonna keep the wealth within us. We're not gonna give them a dime or anything that we make. We're gonna tell them what to pay us. We have enough numbers that we could come together and do these things. They see our power, they know our value, but we still can't see it to this day. We cannot see it to this day. Why? Too many distractions. course, we know the system has a lot to do with it, because, I mean, you can't even. There's a lot of stuff that you're not in a position to do because of the situation and all that type of stuff. But we still, at the end of the day, like I said, we're in an information age. Whatever we need to know is out there. We can free ourselves. Stop thinking that you're free. How are you free? There's nothing free about having to go to work for the enemy. We funding Facebook. We funding all these social medias so they could go and investigate our people and lock us up. So they could tap this and they could tap that and they could find out what we're talking about. We are funding our own oppression. How are you going to go to a job and complain about your salary when you knew the salary before you started the job? That's crazy. Why are you complaining about your salary? Change it. No, we can't. One person can't change it. That's why I'm saying we got to come together. Imagine if all the people that, whatever, fast food decide that, okay, we on this platform, so we all in agreement. This is what we got. You got 100,000 people that work in this particular industry, and guess what? We not working today because we want to raise. You're not going to be there's no reason why any company should be $1 billion company, and you telling me that people out here hungry. And you contributing to that. That's selfish. That is you being selfish. We are contributing to the wealth of our oppressors. Tell Lyft you're not coming to work. Tell Uber you're not coming to work. They ripping you off. And then you go and you rent a car from them. And you got to be driving 14, 15 hours to make the payments for the car. I mean, listen. I never had a slave mentality. Never had a slave mentality. You at a job and you can't see what's going on. It's one thing to be there and actually know what's taking place. But when you're completely blind to it, we got some work to do. They are ripping you off. How I'm providing everything and you only gonna give me 15%. You're gonna give me 20%. How? You the one need the 25%. You the one need the 10%. This is my car. We go into McDonald's and we supporting them, and they paying their workers less than nothing to poison our own people. Because it's not food, it's poison. We are the ones that are enslaving ourselves. We are the ones that are oppressing ourselves. We got to wake up. We have to wake up. Forget about religion. Forget about who's Islam and who's Hebrew Israelite and who's Nazarene and who's Christian. We black. If we spent more time focusing on the things that brought us together instead of the things that pulled us apart, we'll be a lot closer together. When you start realizing and respecting what somebody else has going on, you don't have to agree with what somebody is doing. You don't have to agree with it to respect it. Ain't no need to be arguing, because at the end of the day, if we wanted to get into the whole spirituality stuff, it's not for everybody. It's only a few people. So we so busy caught up with that, we don't even see what's taking place right in front of us, like how these jobs ripping us off, how they trying to censor us from speaking. And this is another thing with these people. You can't even follow the law because they don't even uphold their end of the bargain. What happened to freedom of speech? But then they're going to turn around and tell you, oh, you in Hollywood? You can't say that. You can't say that you against homosexuality. Why not? If a homosexual can say that they are for homosexuality, why can't a heterosexual person say, I'm against homosexuality? You see the hypocrisy? They don't want you to tell people what they're supposed to do or how they're supposed to think. It's how they're supposed to think, but they want to tell you how you're supposed to think. You see the hypocrisy? If you have a right to be gay and be an advocate for being gay, why don't I have a right to be a heterosexual and be an advocate for that? The same rights you talking about you want, why can't I have those rights? Ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrisy in these laws. That's why we need to have our own network. We need to have our own platform where we can get on there and say whatever it is we need, strategize, and liberate ourselves. The very things that they set up to work against us is the very tools that we're going to use to overpower them. They set up all this stuff to monitor us, and no, we're going to use it to come together. All this stuff, they want to see what you're searching, all right, but it's too late. I already got the information. I already downloaded. I already found what I needed to find. The very thing that they want to use against us is the tools that we're going to need, the tools that we're going to use to overpower it. Put ourselves back in a position. We got to realize who we are. We have to realize the type of power that we have. We are not regular. We are supernatural. None of those other non-people from any other nation could go through what we've been through and still be standing. These people commit suicide when their dog dies. They go kill themselves. When the market drops and they go from 100 million to 99.999 million, they kill themselves. Weak. And we walking around like we weak. We have all the power. We have all of the say. They don't dictate anything. Just like in that movie Malcolm X, when they had beat that one brother and they all went down to the jailhouse, right? That's the type of movements we need to be on. What they gonna do? What are they going to do? When 10,000 of us go and stand outside a prison demanding justice. Not even demanding it, because we shouldn't even demand anything. Taking justice. They don't make demands, they take. Do they demand that you hand over your child, or they come and they take your child from you? Over whatever reason they feel like, you know why? Because we gave them a social security number. That's a whole different conversation anyway. We give these people rights to our lives. Stop going to them to get married. Forget all that nonsense. How are you going to go to their courts, to their judge to get married? You know what that does? That gives them permission to come into your life and make decisions. If you decide you're going to go through what you go through, you're going to have a divorce, blah, 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 all that extra stuff, the courts come in and decide what's going to happen with your children, what's going to happen. They weren't there, but we give them the authority to do that. And we paying for all these licenses, again, giving them more fuel. Have our traditional marriages. Forget all that extra stuff going to court. We have our witnesses, we have our people come in, and it is what it is. We have our celebration. That's it. Stop funding your own destruction. Stop. I'm just going to end it on that note. Stay righteous.